let's explore the monsters of Moria. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I felt I needed to put a spoiler alert because these monsters are better when you find them exploring the depths. This guide is if you are having trouble. So let's get into it, going from the weakest up. We begin with low tier enemies. Sakrats, Dalmuns, and wolves, they take more damage from crushing and piercing damage. These are your axes and spears. That's pretty much it. Hack and slash with them, stack their meat as it's necessary for a lot of cooking recipes. Free warriors and mountain goats. These are your main sources of hide throughout Moria. Free warriors take more damage from ranged and piercing, but they are hard to catch. Ranged is the best option for these guys. Mountain goats are a little bit easier to catch, so melee attacks on foot are pretty effective. Cave bears take more damage from axes, but are relentless. They will chase you down until they reach the bounds of their territory, or you get on top of a rock. The easiest way to take them down is using a bow and arrow from distance, but where's the fun in that? Using a shield and an axe, dodge when they're using their swiping and big attack, and then quickly hit them with a combo. Rinse and repeat. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert! All right, now we're getting into the bigger stuff. These enemies come in around the mid-game. The Watcher in the waters. Yeah, I was not okay the first time I saw this guy. So its weakness is arrows to the face, but it does take a long time to down it. Moving constantly and shooting is your best option against this one, but when it dives, run away. It is about to do a lunge attack that you cannot defend against. It is fatal. Run away, take a breath, and then get back into it with arrows. Alternatively, you don't even need to defeat it. Just run to the left and build quick platforms all along the wall. You'll be able to now scale that wall over the water to the pumps where you want to build a camp and a map stone. So now you don't have to piss off the Watcher ever again, leaving it to live in peace. Cave trolls. In short, they take the most damage from hammers. If you can, fight them in the daytime and then lead them to the light from the surface. They will turn to stone. Easy kill. Otherwise, just use a small tunnel through a wall to protect yourself from them throwing gigantic rocks, and then pepper it with arrows. It honestly, it takes forever, but it's an easy kill. I just like to get into the fight. So I use my shield to block the rocks and run in close to the troll. Dodge whenever the troll attacks, then quickly hit an attack combo, and then repeat until victory. War Chiefs. They are strong, but don't fret. If you are struggling fighting the War Chief and all the other orcs as well, focus on the War Chief, and when you defeat him, the other orcs will retreat in fear, but they leave with their loot too. I find it's best to funnel them through the entrance of the zone and fight them one-on-one. Well, now you have all this extra loot that's yours. Cave spiders. Their weakness is spears, but you'll likely get poisoned at the same time. Just avoid them as they're easy to outrun, and you have to get pretty close to trigger them to engage you. The giant moss. They are attracted to light. Just don't bring the masterwork torch unless you want them to engage you. Otherwise, spears and hammers will be the most effective against these foes. The Nameless. So they are really, really tough and lurk in the darkest depths. They have a very, very close proximity to trigger, so you can just hide in parts of the cave as they walk by. Fighting it, however, use a shield because they hit hard. They don't have any weaknesses except for trapping it. Building a camp or heart in the darkest depths will allow you to build walls. So when it gets close, box it in, jump up on that wall, and poke it with a stick. Again, they have so much health, but that's how I've found to defeat it. Drakes. I have found they are super hard to beat without a shield, and they don't have any obvious weaknesses. However, sometimes they spawn near stairs, and I think I found an exploit. Run up the stairs and use the ledges to fire arrows at it. You can reduce its health significantly over time, but it's not very fun. However, with a shield where the stairs turn as it goes upwards, put a pillar in between you and the Drake. So when the Drake performs an ice attack, it will hit the pillar, not you. Then run forward and hit block as it counters, and then repeat. You're probably not going to take too much damage now. Bell beasts. I don't ever want to fight these things as they are so strong. Best way is just to avoid them all up. Use quick platforms to scale around them and climb away. Onwards to the next objective. If you do feel brave, however, spears work well as they have a multi-strike charge attack. Sequence is as follows. Get yourself into really close range. Wait for the fell beast to lunge at you or tail whip, block with your shield or dodge the attack. Then use a charged flurry of strikes with your spear at close range. Then block with your shield as it counters. Rinse and repeat. The Troll King. This guy is relentless. Starting, he will throw rocks of cursed darkness at you, so you'll need to close the gap between you to get in some hits. He also has a running charge attack to be aware of, so I like to stand in front of a pillar until he charges. He will then run into the pillar as you dodge and get staggered upon impact. During these precious seconds, avoid the purple cursed darkness on the ground as you approach him. Then hit him with everything you've got. He's gonna probably take another swipe at you, so use the dodge function. Using the dodge function up close is really your only way to defend against his attacks, as pretty much everything is really hard hitting. Alternatively, you can stay at a distance and pepper him with arrows if the battle is getting dire. If you're doing multiplayer, so much easier. One can fire at him constantly from a distance, while the others are up close hacking and slashing. Not too bad, just breathe and take your time. Last but not least is Narag Shazon. In short, you're going to need the finest gear in the game. Weapon-wise, the Mithril Spear is amazing. So you're going to want to build a camp outside this encounter with a mapstone and a bedroll there, as you're probably going to die at least once. So with the Mithril Spear, the minor enemies in this fight will fall to it pretty quickly. During this stage, Narag will attack you at range with balls of shadow energy. Your goal is to quickly dispatch the smaller enemies around you and find a barricaded door to punch through. Not to attack Narog yet. That is most people's first error. It's just not going to happen in this section. You need to break through the door and proceed into the next area of the Balrog's lair. So you're going to chase her upwards to the top of this area where a mapstone is located. Repair it and prepare for the final stage. In this last room, it is pretty squishy. Your goal is to destroy the pillars. Now, there's several of them surrounding this zone. To destroy them, you need to stand behind the pillar and let Narog shoot her shadow breath at you, thus hitting the pillar. Eventually, this will destroy them, busting a hole in the roof to let the sunlight in and blind her. Now, this is your chance to get right up to her face and poke her with your shiny spear. Victory! Now, there are many different ways to dispatch all of these enemies, but this is what I have found to be the most effective. Let me know in the comments if you have a better option for any of these, because I'd love to hear it. And if you found these useful, well, there is plenty more videos on this channel. So check it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, not again!